Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I thought I would see Leader Schumer when I walked out here. Isn't it wonderful that he's here tonight? Thank you, Mr. Leader, Chuck Schumer, for being with us tonight. Thank you all for the invitation to be here. Thank you, Alexandra Stanton, Chair of J Street, Jeremy Ben-Ami, President of J Street. I'm so honored to be here to present an award to Stephen Robert and Pilar Crespi Robert, the Justice and Peace Awardees, to be here with the Leader Schumer, and then to be listening to Representative Pramila Jayapal, a keynote conversation panelist, along with Chris Van Hollen. This is such a wonderful evening, bipartisan and bicameral. Thank you, Alexandra Stanton, for your tenacious, visionary leadership in pursuit of peace and justice. And that is an applause line. It's an honor to join Jeremy, a champion for bold, transformational leadership, and so many colleagues, friends, and advocates for J Street's 2019 Gala dinner. Let me just say this for a moment. This is like a family affair for me this evening, because unlike most evenings in Washington, my dear husband, Paul Pelosi, is here, and my daughter, Christine Pelosi. So I'm happy that they are here. Pilar and Stephen, we just love so much, and it's not just about the Italian connection, but I have so much admiration for them. Alan Solomont and Susan have been family to us. But I want to talk about Jeremy for a moment. When I first became speaker, and I went to Israel for the first time as speaker, I'd been there other times before, but as speaker, I was welcomed by a search of my family tree by the newspapers there. And they had an article, a big article, that said something to the effect of Nancy Pelosi comes by her love of Israel naturally. And they talked about my father, and this relates to Jeremy in this respect. When my father was elected to the Congress of the United States, he was a New Dealer, and this is in the 30s. And he was worshipped at the shrine of Franklin Roosevelt, except he took the liberty, it wasn't really liberty, but nonetheless, he decided that he was going to oppose him on two things, or at least urge him to do more on two things. One, to recognize what was happening to Jews in Europe at that time, now this late 30s, early 40s, and to move more quickly to recognize that there should be a Jewish state in Palestine. There were his two issues. How that relates to Jeremy is the following. When my father was a young man, teenager, he was a Shabbat Goy, Italian-American, but nonetheless lighting the furnace. So he spoke Yiddish. So he spoke Yiddish. So he was a natural orator, this or that. So when he became a congressman, Jeremy's father had established an organization, a working group, that had pageants, parades, rallies, and all the rest for the establishment of the state of Israel in Palestine, and to help the plight of Jews in Europe. So my father would be one of the featured, he wasn't Jewish, but he spoke Yiddish, one of the features on there. And he worked with Jeremy's father all those years ago on this subject. And when he would, so inspiring was Jeremy's dad that when my father then was speaking on the floor, he would say, "Mr. Speaker, I rise as a member of the Jewish Army." Jewish Men's Army. Jewish Men's Army. And I have those congressional record statements to demonstrate that. So again, we have family connections, and we do, it is in the DNA of many of us to be supportive of a strong U.S.-Israel relationship. And so that's why I'm so proud that for more than a decade, J Street has been a powerful force for progress, bringing together diverse communities united by our shared pro-Israel, pro-peace values. We're blessed here to be by so many members of Congress. So many members of Congress. Did you all stand up and get cheered? All stand up and get cheered. Let's hear it. about that? So many members of Congress from both sides of the aisle, from both sides of the Capitol, because support for U.S.-Israel, strong support for U.S.-Israel relationship is bipartisan and bicameral. Yesterday, we marked 1 year since the deadliest attack against Jewish Americans in our nation's history. Which stole the lives of 11 innocent men and women gathered in a peaceful prayer at the Tree of Life Synagogue. You all remember that so well. With dangerous rhetoric, political chaos, and anti-Semitism on the rise, we recall the late poet and lyricist Ehud Manor, whose poem said, "I have no other country." It reminds me of our responsibility to speak out for what we believe in, and this is just part of what the poem says. "I can't keep silent in light of how my country's changed her face. Won't quit trying to remind her in her ears. I'll sing my cries until she opens her eyes." At this time of great consequence, we must heed Manor's words and rise to the moment to defend our values and oppose the forces of hate and fear. We can rise to the moment by honoring the late Israeli President Shimon Peres's call to see everything. How many times have we met with him and he said, "I see everything as an opportunity." Everything is to build an enduring peace and lasting two-state solution. Representative Alan Lowenthal. Alan, are you here? Let's hear it for Alan Lowenthal. Yay, Alan. Alan has House Resolution 326. It is an opportunity for Congress to reaffirm support for a two-state solution that enhances stability and security for Israel, the Palestinian people, and the region. Thank you, Alan. But as I always say, a two-state solution. It must be a solution. It requires us all to oppose actions that hinder progress. The challenge we face on the road to peace are many, but the U.S.-Israel relationship has been ironclad for over 70 years and will remain so. Ironclad for 70 years and will remain so.